Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my interview with Matteo Esposito. If you missed the first interview, I asked him, is there responsibility to creating works around autism and raising concerns on neurodiverse voices? And he gave a strong answer. I really appreciated what he said and what we should do to help people.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now we're on to question number two. I witnessed the play sorting it out, and I mentioned to you that I got a little emotional at the
Yeah,
end, which
mhm.
was very I we all deserve to get emotional because we have to stand up for
I
what was
agree. I agree.
happening.
I agree.
How did that come to start? Where did the idea come from? And what are some of the best memories or moments that happened during the show?
Well, here's the thing. It's like I said, it's based on truth. But I'll tell you something. This is based on a true experience um, that happened to me on an Oakville Transit bus. The story was, and the story goes a little along the lines of something like this. While I was literally riding the bus, I tapped my presto, the driver, and I would go on to the back of the bus, back right at the back, right?
Hmm.
So then this guy, I don't know this guy. It's not the bus driver. It's not nobody else is driving and helping the bus driver at that point in time. So, but this passenger goes like this, like cream colored shirt, nice colored, um, like what I'm wearing. I don't have cream colored pants, but or something. But he goes like this. I know you from somewhere, and I don't normally talk like with slang, but I had to sound today. I had to act.
Ah,
Oh, I don't know you from a hole in the wall, man. I would never talk like that. And he said, and then he turned to me and he said, but I remember you from somewhere. You were with Brandon. Now, Brandon was, it was a, well, Brandon was, there was a bunch of Brandons. Like there was Brandon this, there was Brandon that. There was like 20 Brandon at my school or whatever.
hmm.
And you know how sometimes they have to play along? Like,
Yeah.
of course, yes, 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 yes. Of course, of course, of course. And then he said, oh, so where are you off to today? Okay, so where are you off to today? And then I said, community living also. This is what his reaction was. That's nice. And he walked off the bus at the next stop,
Hmm.
going into the fucking bushes like he was going to fucking pee. But before he did that, he didn't even say thank you to the bus driver. He just looked at the bus driver as if to connect with it, him or her, saying, "Why would you let this word on the bus?" It felt
Hmm.
like that. Like, why would you let him on the bus? Because it's public transit. It's
Hmm.
not public. It's not private transit. You moron. It's called public transit for a reason. Whether you have
Yes.
special needs or not, you are allowed to ride public transit. Even if you have a car, you're allowed to ride public transit, you idiot. Even if
Hmm.
you have a bike, you're allowed.
Hmm.
Dumbass. I would say, if I'm, and you would go, yes, and that's literally how the show began. I was so angry that day that I came home from community living hopeful that day early, in like a half an hour to an hour early, and I said, and I turned to my dad, who was in the office upstairs, this house. I said, Daddy, give me a piece of paper, give me a pen. I'm writing something down. I said, okay. Yes, and at the kitchen table, I was the first draft sorting it out, which included the line, "Society doesn't understand, so why should I?" It like popped into my brain. It was like, and I wrote it down. I was like, and I wrote it down. Society doesn't understand. Yeah, and we kept it throughout all the drafts, which I'm so happy that we did because that's a pivotal line that Ed says. It's an arrogant line, but it's a pivotal line
Hmm.
because now we understand that he's a manifestation of society's character that you want to go on stage and restrain. But you don't because now you're like, from a person who basically bushwhacked an autistic kid to now being a manifestation of society. That's quite powerful. And in the and I'll tell you, I love that part of the scene where Frank goes to the washroom. Frank's the dad of Ed, who's a young stereotypical millennial, and I'm and I'm Nick, and Bob Brown is my homemaker, my helper. He goes picks up groceries for me. He's like a PSW or a friend or a companion, something along the line of that, from a service agency or whatever, private. So I don't know. I haven't figured that portion out yet, but I because I have a lot of those people in real life. I have PSWs, I have this, I have that, and it's okay to have help. I'm not dismissing that because at one point or another we will all have help. Folks, have you ever seen people as a senior? They usually have a lot of help. So that's what I'm trying to say, Graham, and to you guys as well. This is literally an insult to Nick when he says, can't you do anything on your own like that? And then Bob has to defend him. Bob is like the referee in that
Hmm.
scene, and I love how Dan, who plays Bob, he just goes at it, and Ed, played by Garrett, and they go, and I just have to stand there and you know what I mean, and just witness the emotions, but see two brilliant male actors at work. And I mean fucking brilliant male actors at work, whether they stepped on the stage for the very first time or not. And I'll tell you, no offense, Dan and John, who played Frank, the dad of Ed, and Bob, who played the homemaker, this was their first time stepping on a stage ever in front of an audience.
Wow.
And that performance at 11 o'clock, you just saw, you witnessed magic, basically. Like,
Yes.
yes, we did a week of rehearsal that night. The night before, I met Brandy and all the wonderful tech people that you guys there went there. I didn't even meet you, Graham, before. I'm meeting you, Graham, now, and I think I saw you in the auditorium. I know exactly. Cute, actually. But honestly, though, like I'm so happy that I came there, and I'm so happy to tell the story, like I said. But
Me
yeah,
too.
yeah, like stories like this should be told, and that's all I can say. And it's based on a true experience. Sorry, it is. So to round out the question, it is based on that true experience, and I couldn't have done anything better in my life than to tell
Mm.
this story.
I agree. Telling a story is, nice, but adding entertainment makes it even better.
Edutainment, education, and entertainment mixed
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Edutainment, as they say.
I get it. I get
A lot,
it.
a lot of people. Well, I didn't coin that phrase. Some people told me that, and then I kept it. And like so edutainment, a mixture of edutainment and education. But edu means education, and my play definitely I want to educate more than entertain. But it
Hmm.
also happens to be an entertaining piece, which is
Hmm.
quite good and quite lovely. So
Hmm.
thank you. Thanks. Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. Finally, my last question. What do you think we should do to help people with disabilities, and how do you think we should help them?
What shouldn't we do? What, like, honestly, I'll ask. It's not a rhetorical question, or I'm not trying to put the question right back at you. What shouldn't we do? Like, there's a lot of things we should do, but because we only think at a certain effing capacity, because the
Hmm.
school system or the indoctrination system, aka the elementary and high school system, only wants us to think at a certain level. Even teachers don't know this. Even teachers don't know what I'm talking about. And I want to get into this. Like, why should I learn math and English and like English? Yes, but like we have so many resources that after high school we should be learning all the like we should be learning every single thing that I did on that stage through YouTube and through books and practicing, not even practicing, but learning how to treat people while we do this, instead of going to a friggin' post-secondary institution and waste more money or waste our hard-earned money because and they make it and now they're making housing so high. And this is not only a Canada problem, this is a world problem because one day, and it's going to happen soon, I'm going to warn people about this. One day the economic system is going to collapse. There will not be any cash or coins. It's all going to be on credit card. And they want to do that to control everybody because cash you can do independently, but the credit card is run by the banks. Think about it. Like when you go, what is a loan? Your banks are making money, but you're losing the money. Just to buy a house to pay taxes.
Mhm.
You lose more money. It's all about money. It's all about money. So, and it's not about kindness. It's about money. This world is about money, and it's about secrecy. It's about the illusion that the government's going to take care of you when they really don't. Um, I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that I've learned is this world is pure evil, and and once, and it's going to happen soon. Okay, folks, it's going to happen soon. But that's the thing. We have to have faith up in in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that, and I dare say that on public television. Yeah, I agree because thank you, Graham, and I do appreciate that because if nobody's going to say it on here, then why don't I say it? And people hate the word Jesus. People hate the word Jesus Christ because there's a lot of people skeptics. There's a lot of people who don't believe. It's like but let me tell you something. I've seen a lot of stuff from the spiritual realm, good and bad, good and bad. And one of the dreams I didn't was actually three of my dreams, all three dreams were seeing the same saint, Saint Padre Pio, Petrina. I had three dreams, separate dreams in there. And it's a claim. It's a claim. Well, prove to me that it's a claim. I'll go back to the atheist. And actually, never mind prove to me it's a claim. You don't believe in God, right, sir? Yeah. God doesn't exist. Prove to me. Okay, sir. Prove to me that we have a brain, thoughts, and a mind. And prove to me that through not words, but because the first thing is, well, you're an idiot for saying that. Why? Why am I an idiot for saying that? Because they know that I'm meeting them at their level. And because you cannot prove a fucking brain, you cannot touch the brain, you cannot touch the thoughts, you cannot touch the feelings. So they're going to say, I'm defeated, but I'm going to insult you anyway. And I always polite on YouTube and saying, that's not the question that I answered, or that's not the response that I wanted. Prove to me about this and that. And usually they insult me, but 99% do not get back to me. And
Oh,
because and that's good. That's good. Because I rather not argue with stupidity because they're going to say, well, you haven't been around science. Prove to me that this is science. Prove to me that it's science because, and then they're going to go into books and everything. Prove to me that it's science. But I tell them, don't just use words, use articles, use statues of brains because we have statues of saints, statues of Buddha as well, and statues of Muhammad. But because and then when okay, read this, but oh wait, whoa. It's just an article. How would I believe that that's a doctor? It could be Joe Blow that could write it. Email them and tell them to take a picture of their plaque, of their university certification that they're a doctorate. You think atheists would want to follow up with that shit? Absolutely not. I'll tell you something, Graham. I met them at their level. I know how to fucking fool them. Most Christians don't even know. They usually use, oh, it's Earth. It's the Bible. No. Because they're going to say a Bible is just like Peter Pan, Harry Potter, number one. It's a fairy tale. It's a made up story. First of all, how is it made up? That's my question. Second of all, and if anybody in the comments says anything rude about what I have to say, don't worry. Email me and I'll respond to them. I
that's so
would not
sweet of
mind.
you.
Well, it is sweet. But really, do I want to respond? No. But but do I have to? Yes. To prove a point that I'm not just an average talker. I'm I'm literally saying prove to me that your brain exists, your thoughts exist, and all of this coming out of your mouth and coming out of your hands. They can't prove that because they cannot see the brain. They're gonna
Yeah.
say how? They're gonna say shit. He got me in the corner. Well, good. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that I
Mhm.
that we can corner anybody, including the government. Hint, hint, hint. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like, and it's all based on this, all based on Jesus coming back, all based on money. In the Bible, there's a line that says, the money is the root of all evil. Not money is evil. Oh, no, 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 no. Money is the root of all evil. Once you get that toonie or that dollar, you want more. You want more. You want more. It's like dessert. I want more dessert. I want more dessert. I want more ice cream. I want more.
Yeah. Greed.
Exactly. Exactly, Graham. Exactly. And these elites, and I dare say that these elites are very evil. They worship Satan. The Illuminati. They go to Bickerman's, not Bickerman's Grove, that was a movie, but they go to the Owl Grove where they do sacrifices. They have all these, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the British monarchy, the Vatican. They own, and I'm sorry to say for my fellow Christians and myself, the Vatican owns not a lot of land throughout the world, including the churches, including, like, they own, like, not like 2%, like maybe 75 to 80% of the land. What about the British Royals? What about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers? The Rockefellers were the Rothschilds, believe it or not. And I'm telling you guys, these families, look them up. One of the biggest quotes about the Rockefellers, John D. Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. What he means by that is, I want a nation of slaves. Hmm. Hmm. Look at it, how every store has a boss, and you just put stuff on the shelves. You're not your own employee,
Mhm.
which makes you a slave, you morons. And you know what I mean, right, Graham? You're getting it.
Yes.
And and I'm sorry to say that. And sometimes I give these young people, I say, here, keep the change, keep the change. To the movies, to the trophies. I'm like, and they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't care if God rewards me. I care about the future generation, because the future generation is stupid. That's why we need works like mine to remind him. But, like, why should I remind everybody to be kind? Well, we should be able to be kind. When, like, there's a note in my program, and I actually have it here, right here, right here. So this was the sorting it out program that everybody, you got one, yeah, right. I want you to
Yes.
read. I want to read a quote from the back of this program
Okay.
that I always think about every time I think about this play. Sorry. I always ask myself, and this is coming from me, why do I need to create a play reminding people to be kind when we should know how to be kind already? And this is not in there, but I'll end with, the answer is more complex than you think. And that's it. And I'll say that. I said enough to make you go thinking. Like, and John D. Rockefeller died. Padre Pio died back in 1969, and I had three dreams about him. And actually, this Saturday I'm actually going to Italy to actually visit his grave,
Oh,
which is kind of like, if you visit me, I'll visit you. It's like a friend. That's how spiritual I am. And every time I'm at church, mostly every time I cry, is the second part of the mass, after the homily and after when the gifts bring and the priest says, "Pray, my brothers and sisters, that are sacrificing you." That part for the Christians, um, before we get the body of Christ, right, or the host, that part always moves me to tears. And now I watch a video of how much pain Jesus sacrificed. Like, they put him to the fucking test for humanity, the Romans. And another thing, Jesus spoke Greek. Jesus spoke Aramaic and Greek. Why is the Vatican in Rome? Jesus never spoke Italian.
hmm.
Think about it. Jesus never spoke one word of ciao, bello. And bello means beautiful boy or something. Ciao means hi in Italian.
Mhm.
Jesus never spoke Italian. But who killed Jesus? The Romans. And I'll leave it at that. So there has to be something more sinister, more, something more deeper than we could ever imagine up there, down there, and on Earth. Which is kind of crazy for me to say that, sorry. being an autistic kid, 27-year-old, telling you and telling everybody the truth and giving you little hints of why this is that, why this is that, thinking more about this. And always ask why. Don't just criticize. Always ask, why is this character, why is that doing that? Why is that doing this? Why is that doing that? Why would Nick give him, why? Ask yourself why.
Hmm.
The school system, the indoctrination system, only makes you think at a certain level. But there's more punishments than teaching people to be kind or loving or or nice or polite. And that's why we have the stupid kids that we have today. Stupid teenagers. And I'm sorry to, like I said, I'm sorry for telling the truth in all this shape or form. I'm sorry. Like, but if you get offended on me, an autistic 27-year-old, you should be thinking, wait a minute, let me explore that and then I'll comment. Because he might be right. Well, I'll tell you, I am right, but I want to give your judgments, not mine. I'm just feeding you the information. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink it. It's the same with the play. You can teach people to be kind. Ding, 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 hello, but you can't force them to be kind. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, Graham. Go ahead. Sorry.
Wow. I can't remember one. I can't remember the last time I got like, this emotional during an interview. I've gotten
Okay.
emotional numerous times, but not like this. I'm really proud of all your wise words you were saying. You're a very
Um,
nice person who
yeah.
who who should speak the truth whenever you should.
You're actually moving me to tears now. No
Oh,
offense. Nobody has ever said that to me before. And I don't want, God, I don't want this world to suffer.
ne
This is what I usually break down in tears. So please forgive me. But honestly, I don't want this world to suffer.
neither do I.
I don't. I want people to learn. God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to make. Usually I cry, Graham, not the other interviewer. But honestly, I'm sorry that I made you weep. I'm sorry that I made you emotional.
No, it's
And
fine.
people and somebody said, don't ever be sorry, Matteo, because this is what basically you're meant to do. This is
Yeah.
basically what you need to do to make a living for yourself.
Yes, yes, I agree.
And I have a crucifix upstairs, and before I went to Richmond Hill on Monday to load in, I said, Lord, if you want me to do this for the rest of my life, let your will be done, but only your will, not mine. I'm under your supervision. If you want me, like, I always wanted to be a set designer. I got into 2 universities. I couldn't because of my disability, because
Oh,
of my lashing out, because of when somebody jokes with me. And no offense, Graham, I'm not trying to bring you into the picture, and I'm not. Because when a stranger jokes with me, I lash out, like Nick did on stage. Except I swear at them. Physically, there's physical violence involved and everything. It's not just the R word. I never, I, sorry, like, and it's just, and even after the um the sorting it out, there was a moment yesterday where I cried because the R word really, really hit me hard. And at night, there wasn't a there was a point that I almost cried, and it was when I said, "I think you should calm down, Ed. Don't tell me to calm down. I wasn't talking to you anyway. I was just trying to help, and I cried." But I was crying after Ed said the R word after the school performance. Those were real tears. Those were real tears, Graham. That wasn't me acting. That was not me acting. Sorry. That wasn't me acting. Okay.
hmm.
And I had to hear that word twice in fucking one day. Nobody should be hearing any of those stupid words.
No,
The
no,
N
no,
word,
no,
the P
no.
word, the R word. Like, not even slang. Like, I'm sorry. Slang means either you say dude or man. Hey, man, how's it going? What are we in fucking California with the Beach Boys? Let's go surfing now. Hey, dude, you know, or hey, bro, pump it up, brother. We're not in Harlem anymore.
No.
Last time I checked, we're in Ontario, but still
Yes.
people, and I don't use slang like that because of the fact that to me it's not professional. Swearing, okay, everybody from the time you were two, you know what a swear word is, and I'm exaggerating, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to prove a point here. But there's a
Yes.
lot of stuff, right? But there's a lot of stuff that people don't really realize that if you just open your eyes, your ears, you don't have to pray, you don't have to have faith. You just have to be aware. You just have to be aware, and people are not aware. People are not aware. People are
Mm-hmm.
not aware. And I could go on. I could go on. And people don't want to stand out because they're trapped in society.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what I mean. I want to show you something if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, okay.
I don't
So let
mind.
me. Yeah, I know. Sorry. All right. So I have okay, there's one card. So I have two cards here, and to hear me out, okay? Two
Okay.
cards. It's basically a card trick, and I will reveal it to you after. So I have two cards here. I'll just put it down if I can. I hope I can just. Okay, I'll just put it here if I can. So this is one card. So I think that can work like this. Okay, so I have.
Okay.
Let's do this. Graham, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Sorry, my brain. Okay, so I have these two cards. We are missing one. But let me explain to you something. This is, I'm not a magician. This is not me doing an illusion. It will make it looks like an illusion, but I will give you the secret because there's no such thing as magic, Graham. There's no such thing as it is something called an illusion, and that's life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why we call them illusionists. But this is more of a trick to make your brain think, right? So now we
Yes.
have these two cards, right? Let me just find it, right? Okay. So I have these two blue cards. Right? These two blue cards. Which one do you want? One, left or right?
Right.
This okay.
Yes.
Now, all right. I'll put this card that you didn't pick here. I,
Okay.
I already know this. So now pick one. One, two, or three.
One.
So I'll move these guys here. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I already know this trick, but I'm doing this to prove to you a point, and then I'll do one more thing because
Okay.
this is how society traps you. Hint, hint, hint. Okay. Okay. So I want you to remember the card. Okay. This is not really me doing a magic trick. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, this is a trick, but with a message, with its meaning. So I'm going to show you this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So now I have to guess, right? It's a classic
Mm-hmm.
guessing game. Magicians all around the world do. So now I have to guess what card you picked, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's so I'm starting to see it that it's kind of a figurine, or something along the lines of that. I don't know. Is it? Just thinking. Just thinking. Honestly, takes me a while, but I'll get there. Um, the something to do with more rounder shape, more like a shape like a leaf or something. Something along those lines, right? Am I correct so far or no?
Yeah, you're getting warmer. Yeah, you're getting
Glad you
there.
said, glad you said that. That's good. Keep that up. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. It's the Jack of Clubs. That's it. The Jack of Clubs. No?
No.
Are you kidding me? Of course not, because it's the King of Spades.
Yes.
Right. Now, why would I do that to you? Not to scare you, but that's what the government does. They put, or that's what society does. They push you to believe that it's actually the wrong thing when you're actually staring it in the fucking face.
Mhm.
That's why you do that. It's not really a trick of illusions. Because if I were to show you the other card now, which is kind of this one, oh yeah, which is this one, so I have two kings, right?
Mhm.
Right there, two, right there. One king would, and this is the one you picked, right? Right?
Mhm.
Two kings. And you would be a joke to all society.
Mhm.
Because you are a joke, you cannot be the ace and stand out. And that's how simple it is. Four
Mhm.
freaking cards, Graham. Four freaking cards right there.
Mhm.
But I give you the illusion that you have the free choice. You don't. Two of the cards have a spade on them, or an ace or a club or whatever. It's not a spade. Uh, yeah, ace. One is an ace of spades, right? The other one are two kings of spades, and the
Mhm.
other one is the idiotic joker. So, and and even if and that's how simple society can trick you
Mhm.
using four decent playing cards with the same back that look like they're all different. And you believe that they're all different. And you believe that you have a choice
Mhm.
when you don't, right?
Mhm.
And that's how
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back here. Back here. But that's how simple it is.
Mhm.
And that's how simple it is. I'm not a magician. This is not a magic trick. This is a trick to prove people, to fool people. And then I reveal, oh yeah, by the way, this is method. Personally, and magicians don't show the tricks. Fuck that. I'm not a magician. I don't have this. I don't have this time packed in blood that magicians do, or the Illuminati does, or sign a contract with the devil. I don't do that. This is to prove that this is what the government does. This is what society does. Have you ever heard of Nestle, the company Nestle, before? Coffee, tea, um, ice cream. No.
Yes.
I'll get back to the ice cream part in just a sec. But the biggest thing is the chocolates. The Kit Kat, Aero, and Coffee Crisp. Nestle creates those. But if you look at the ice cream container, it doesn't even say ice cream. It says in a small little part of the corner, frozen dessert. Take a look for the people and people think, oh, it's ice cream. This is delicious. Nestle made it. Yes, Nestle made it. It comes from a factory, but it doesn't necessarily say ice cream on it. It says vanilla, but in the small corner right here, it said, or wherever, look for it. It's in extremely small letters. Frozen dessert. Hmm. So it's not even ice cream, exactly. And that's how the government tricked you to get sick. Because there's another, it's the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers that also made the big pharma industry. I think it was the Rockefellers. They gave, so not only are they indoctrinating the kids, they're indoctrinating the doctors because the doctors only know how to give prescription drugs and they don't know anything about good health. Because if they did, they would be saying, "Don't eat that ice cream. It's this is the drugs. This is the chemicals that they put in. The chemicals that they put in.
Mhm.
Most food in North America is processed or sprayed with chemicals and all that bullshit. Wake up, people, please. We don't have much time before the tribulation, and that means that when Jesus comes back on the clouds, I remember watching this interview, near death experience, and somebody passed away, and Jesus was like, last call. And he was like the train conductor saying, last call to heaven, last call, last call. That scares me because a lot of people will not go back, especially these young people. And, you know, the devil would do anything to distract these young kids from going back to church, from being faithful to God, being faithful to Jesus. And it breaks my heart. Once again, it breaks my heart to see these kids suffer when they don't realize that they're suffering, when they're not, and they won't realize that they're going to suffer big time if they don't start realizing what's actually going on, no pun intended, behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Okay? Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I know this is touching and I know this is like trickery and everything, but I do all this to prove a point. I do all this to prove a point. I'm
Yes.
not some autistic kid from Oakville, Ontario, Canada. Um, an hour and 50 minutes away from where you are, Richmond Hill, the beautiful Richmond Hill Performing Arts Center, writing plays and and writing songs and all that. I'm one living, breathing human that has a lot to tell and a lot of wisdom and common sense to me.
Hmm.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that I'm smart because I'm not. I think I'm not smart. I think I'm more stupid than smart. But what I do know is I have common sense and a very big common sense and a lot more than BTI to me. I'm one heck of a machine. And my brain keeps going and going and going and going and it never stops. It's and sometimes sometimes I cry over humanity thing and I cry because of how people have treated me this past week, including my own family, my brother, in fact. I don't want to get into that, but because that's personal, but like when things are said and done, they remind me of sorting it out. And the dialogue that what Ed says is like there's a lot of people that dismiss me and the R word like I said yesterday, I almost broke down in tears because I'm like the R word hits me so much on stage, but then the after effects of that word and the after effects of the fight and the after effects of hearing Ed bushwhack me to words and actions, more words than actions throughout the play is sadly horrendous to me, but realistic to a lot of other people. And I'm happy to do this art, but it comes at a cost. It truly comes at a cost because I'm telling the truth, and people don't want, and people who are higher up, like I was telling you, the corporations, the families, who actually work with the government, and they say if you don't get this plan done, we're going to kill you. I know that because of stuff. So thanks, Graham. I do appreciate everything we talked about, and I hope your listeners honestly get a lot of little hints and messages of what I'm trying to say. So thank you, Graham, and I hope to continue to talk with you. And please put my email in the bottom. I would love to connect with you viewers.
Oh, I definitely will. Thanks again, Matteo, for taking the time to talk to me.
Graham,
I appreciated your strong words.
thank you for having me on, and thank you to all of you who were listening attentively. I hope you didn't get offended, but I hope you learned something. Please, and take it home with you. Thanks, and
Hmm.
God bless you all. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Love you.